we are live. Hello. Hi. Internet
Hi.
City. How's it going? Thursday night. We are here. Sam is with us in the chat. No,
Hi,
this is
Sam.
not our normal time.
No, it isn't.
So I guess just off the top of the bat here, since we just started the podcast, yeah, we are recording on a Thursday night. It seems like for the next 3 months, I think is what we've decided, just basically for the rest of the summer, we're going to be recording the Captain's Log on Thursday night. And then once the summer is done, we'll go back to Tuesday nights.
Wednesday nights.
Or yes, Wednesday night. I'm just making this more confusing than it already is.
We're going to be recording every Blurns day.
Right, yes, exactly. At the end of the day, we are still recording this. There will still be Captain's Logs coming out.
It'll happen.
It's just not the regularly scheduled normal time, which who even knows what that means there. But yes, here we are on a Thursday night. I was just explaining to Melissa that it's been a real hectic day for a day that I've just sat on the couch the entire day. Summer Game Fest got started. All that stuff. I've been watching that. I've been playing video games. I've been taking care of cats. I've had the house to myself. All sorts of stuff. My week has been interesting, hectic. Melissa.
Yeah.
I've been rambling this whole time. How are you?
That's okay. I'm fine. The week has also been hectic. I've been working long days, which means as the week goes on, my days get shorter, but I still have the same amount of things I have to cram into them. I'm training somebody new this week. We've had like meetings and presentations and things, so I'm fully ready for the weekend. I need the time to sleep. I need the time to go out and go see Jurassic World and drink a frozen margarita.
That sounds fun. Interesting. Yeah, I've been slowly realizing that there's a lot more movies coming out really soon than I realize. Yeah, there's I still haven't seen Top Gun. There's the new Jurassic World, which I'm not really interested in because I haven't seen any of the new ones. Then I forgot about Lightyear. We have Thor: Love and Thunder. There's Nope, which is in July, which they have a new trailer out. Good summer movie year.
I have got a movie scheduled every other week for the next couple months.
That's awesome. But to get back to why we are moving our recording schedule, I guess every other week you're gonna be at like a local play, like drive-in play production theater production. I don't even know what it is.
I explain this to you every summer, Kyle. St. Louis has the Muni Theater, the largest, oldest outdoor musical theater in the nation. They do a run of 7 Broadway quality musicals every summer. And this year, a friend went in with me on season tickets. So I am locked into one specific night for every performance. And we picked Wednesdays months ago before we changed the Captain's Log recording time. And it won't be every Wednesday. You know, the shows will run for about a week and then they take a couple days off to like change the sets out. It's not every single Wednesday, but you looked at it and you're like, let's just do Thursdays for the rest of the summer so we don't have to keep juggling what days I can be here and what days I cannot.
Exactly. Yeah. But that's exciting though. Do you know what the first one is? Have you already been to one?
It starts next Wednesday. The opening show is Chicago, which is the show they closed last year's season with. Last year's season was a truncated season of just 5 shows that were postponed from the 2020 season. Chicago was the last one. I didn't make it to that one, but I made it to all the others because I figured I saw Chicago here like 10 years ago. I like it a lot, but I've seen it. Yeah, and this is the first time I think they've ever bookended shows like this. Like I guess they thought a lot of people wanted to see Chicago and didn't feel like going last year. So they're like, we'll do it again this year. Chicago, part 2. Still Chicago. We got Chicago this year, Camelot, Sweeney Todd, Mary Poppins, Legally Blonde, Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, and The Color Purple. Not in that order. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. Sounds like no matter what we're up to, summer is packed.
It is.
This summer. Lots of good stuff happening. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to number 192 of the Whatnauts Captain's Log. My name is Kyle Springer, and I am joined by Melissa Wilkinson.
Yes.
Melissa, have you been keeping up with Obi-Wan so far?
I have. This one I have watched every week. I've done it.
There you go. What are you thinking so far?
I'm having a good time. I really like the angle the show has chosen. I won't say what it is because it wasn't revealed in any of the trailers. So when I saw it come up on the show itself, it was a very pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying that a lot. I'm not a huge Star Wars person. I'm into it enough to watch this, I suppose. Star Wars Celebration, the huge convention, just happened in Anaheim a week or two ago. And I watched several vlogs from that convention. I wanted to see the cool merch that was available. They have an I Hate Sand beach towel. They've got flip-flops that have I Hate Sand printed on the soles. So you walk down the beach and you leave a trail of I Hate Sand behind you.
That's awesome.
I want to see stuff like that and see the cosplayers. And I'm watching all these and still saying to myself, I don't love Star Wars, but I just like Star Wars.
I don't hate sand. Maybe I dislike it.
Which sounds like, I'm denying that I have like a crush on a boy in school, but I think it's true. I do just like Star Wars. The feelings I have for Star Wars are nowhere near my feelings for Marvel or something.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. That's fair. Indeed. Yeah, I'm enjoying the show too. I've been watching it week to week, but with Miss Marvel coming out this week, I have to admit I almost forgot it was airing. I did all the Miss Marvel stuff. I watched it. I watched some YouTube videos, all of that stuff. We recorded our own reaction, and then I was like, oh yeah, Obi-Wan. That's out this week too. And then I watched that and I did all the same things, but I was like, I like just completely forgot. I was on to the next thing, but I'm really enjoying it. I'm enjoying it a lot. There's in episode 4, there was 4 of Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah.
I guess I kind of have to specify
not
that
A
when
New
it comes
Hope.
to Star Wars there. Big Easter egg for people who are fans of the Clone Wars cartoon and stuff in there. And I was just like, oh man, Easter egg. I did very vague exclamation here, but that was neat to see. But yeah, I'm enjoying that. And yeah, we got Miss Marvel starting up this week. Like I said, we did our reactions to that one, but man, that show is a blast. That show is fantastic.
It's a delight. I'm so happy it's here. It's here for the summer. It'll be running for, is it 6 episodes?
Correct. 6. Yep.
Okay. That'll take us into mid-July, just past Thor.
Yeah. Yeah, I like how they tend to do that, where like whenever a show is ending, it's like whatever that like last week, a movie is also out.
Yeah.
So it was Loki and Shang-Chi did the same thing, right?
Maybe.
Or something like that.
Yeah, well, we had Hawkeye and Spider-Man, which didn't really... It was in the same... They were both in New York City at approximately the same time, but other than that, there's no crossover. And I think that was an important lesson of, okay, there's no real reason behind the timing of these. I don't think Miss Marvel and Thor Love and Thunder are really going to have anything to do with each other.
Oh, sure. Yeah. So that would be interesting to see if he just like stops in and is like she just
Stops
happens to
in.
be right. Yeah, he just
I
stops
heard
in
about
Jersey
that food
City,
your mom makes. Give me
stops
some of
at
that, please.
the
Mrs.
local
Khan, I'm
Circle
hungry.
Q. But yeah, lots of stuff there is happening. One of the things that I wanted to talk about that I didn't get to last week is my cinema corner, the things I've been watching on my own. There's one that's not on the list here because I watched it last night, I think. Yeah. And this week I'm getting a double dose of Pacino.
Ooh!
On
Ooh-ah.
So on the review show, we are covering the HBO miniseries Angels in America, and Al Pacino plays a character in that. And then last night, for the first time, I watched Dog Day Afternoon, which is a very, very different movie. But I loved it. I thought it was fantastic, and Pacino is incredible in that movie. So I just happened to be getting a double dose of Pacino.
Those are fun. Those are fun to do. I watched Star Trek last weekend because we've been watching Fringe and Leonard Nimoy has been in there. I'm like, I'd like to see him again. I've also been, finally, 3 years later, I'm watching season 3 of Stranger Things. I never got around to watching it when it actually came out. And now that season 4 is here, I scramble to catch up on season 3. And then I'll get to season 4, and it's very long episodes soon. I'm not begrudging the long episodes. I think that's kind of nifty that all of them are like, the shortest one's like an hour and 5 minutes. The longest one's like an hour 40. I kind of dig that. I just have to find time in my own schedule to fit it in.
Yeah, I'm getting asked the same thing. Like, hey, have you been watching Stranger Things season 4? I'm always just like, I stopped in season 2. No, sorry. Like I'm way behind on all of that. But then I can always at least be like, hey, but my former roommate's boyfriend worked on season 4 of the show. So I like that.
Nice.
That's cool.
Snazzy.
Right? Snazzy.
Distant connection.
Exactly.
Maybe this is the time for me to watch it. Maybe it's the time for you too. I loved season 1. I enjoyed season 2 a lot. I never got around to season 3, and watching it this year, I feel like that distance has made me look at the show with fresh eyes and really appreciate everything it's doing, how well crafted it is.
Interesting.
I feel like that time was good for me.
Yeah, because I think it's weird for some people to see these kids grow up, but also not really grow up in the show. Right? Like they're still super young. I'm not sure if there's been any like real like time skips or stuff like that.
So much. Yeah. I feel like they're still approximately middle school aged. I don't think they're freshmen yet.
Yeah, I think that's one of the weird things that I've been hearing people talk about is like it's weird that they're still playing like such young kids when they're not really young kids. I mean, they still are, but not really. So I don't know. Oh well, I'll catch up one day.
I recommend it. I was very happy that I caught up now when I did.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good stuff. The big thing though that I started to watch this past 2 weeks or so was Boardwalk Empire.
Hey.
Yeah, I'm still kind of slowly but surely going through all the list of stuff on HBO Max that I put in my to watch list, and Boardwalk Empire is probably the last like biggest show that I have in there. I think besides that, the Harley Quinn cartoon is maybe the longest show. But yeah, I remember when Boardwalk Empire came out. I remember being like interested at the time, but just it was on HBO, so I was like, well, I'm never gonna
Yeah.
watch that. So, um,
Mhm.
but it's interesting. I'm enjoying it. I'm not super like, yeah, this is amazing. But like it's
Mhm.
solid. I really
Mhm.
enjoy it. It takes place like early, like in just right at the start of Prohibition, um,
Okay.
in Atlantic City. And Steve Buscemi stars. He's the main character. And it's interesting to see him in that role. Uh,
Mhm.
for some reason, and I don't know why, I see him as more of a comedic actor.
Yeah, I
But
think those are the roles. This is a question I asked my family recently when we were all gathered together for Mother's Day. I asked, what was the first thing I ever saw Steve Buscemi in?
well, Melissa, let's open up the photo books here and
We all agreed it was not that I saw him, but I heard him in Monsters Inc. I probably
sure, yeah.
saw him for the first time in Spy Kids 2, Isle of Lost
Yeah.
Dreams. And this is something I would sincerely love to keep track of for future children is when you're introduced to certain character actors.
But like I was thinking about this because it was really weird. I was like, man, he's in
Mhm.
a dramatic role. It's like I know
Mhm.
he's done those, but for
Yeah.
some reason I think of him more as a comedic actor. And so I
Mm.
looked at his like filmography, and I don't think he's really a comedic actor. Like he might have been in a few comedy, like right. It's like just
Yeah.
like I have the opposite view of like what his career has
Right.
actually been. I
Yeah.
don't understand why. Like
That happens
I can't
sometimes. I
point
think there's
to like a specific thing of like, oh, it's that. It's because of that thing that I think of him as.
I think there's
And it's so
something
weird.
I say this with the utmost respect. There's something
Sure,
inherently
yeah.
a little goofy about him. He feels like he would lend himself to
Yeah.
being an oddball instead of being a true serious threat.
A very distinct look, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he is very recognizable when he's on
Mhm.
on screen. But he's a good actor. Like
Mhm.
so like he's doing great in this role in Boardwalk Empire, in which he plays like the treasurer of Atlantic City, and he's kind of the one that runs the city.
Mhm.
He just through all the business dealings and politics and all that stuff. He's the one that kind of secretly runs the whole town. And it's interesting because a lot of these characters are based off of real people and real events and things like that.
Mhm.
Um, and like Lucky Luciano is in the show.
Mhm.
Al Capone is in the show. It is very much like a gangster mobster story.
Mhm.
And he was also in The Sopranos. Like he was
Oh, okay.
in that show for like a season and a half ish. Um, and so like I know he can do those kinds of roles, but I just have this weird thing in the back of my mind that just like this isn't as funny as I want it to be.
Make
Why
me
is
laugh,
Boardwalk
clown.
exactly? But it's
But
good. It's a great show.
that's good to hear. I've always been a little intrigued by that show. I'm less into a crime drama than you are, but I thought the time and geographical setting was interesting. How many shows are set in Atlantic
Yeah,
City?
yeah. I mean, I think you could certainly say it's a crime show, but it's not like the premise of the show does not revolve around a single crime or
Mhm.
like, hey, we're gonna repeatedly do this one single crime over and over.
Mhm.
Like it is more of like the life and times of
Yeah.
those characters.
The wacky misadventures
like
of what's his character's name? Nucky?
Nucky, yeah.
Nucky.
I forget his last name. So Nucky's nickname for his whole name, I guess Nucky is short for Enoch.
I've known this in my head since the show came out. I've never said the name Nucky out loud before.
I just think of the one dinosaur from Land Before Time, Ducky. That's all I can think of.
I'm thinking of name, Knuckles.
Right? Oh yeah.
Do people call Knuckles that?
Hey, Nucky. Good old Nucky. That's funny. But then oddly enough, the show is also produced by Mark Wahlberg. And the pilot was filmed by Scorsese. Or directed by Scorsese. And if I'm not mistaken, I guess I can look it up here. But I thought I saw Wikipedia say that the pilot took like $18 million to make, which is incredible. I think
could be
maybe most of that maybe went to Scorsese, but who knows?
Yeah.
Let's see if I can find that. Again, I thought that was fascinating, though. It's like $18 million for a pilot.
Well, you look that up. I want to say another example of an actor who I got to know from a role outside of their usual wheelhouse.
Sure.
Speaking of Chicago, that was the first time I ever saw John C. Reilly was in the film version of Chicago. Okay. It was very good. He was nominated for the Best Supporting Actor Oscar. I think that always framed John C. Reilly to me as a very serious, like prestigious actor, which he kind of is. He's kind of an art house guy. He's in all those PTA films, but I was not aware of, I could not see Steve Brule from where I was standing in 2002.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Oh man, I'm looking at, so there's a lot of people in Boardwalk Empire that you'll recognize, but I just saw that Charlie Cox is apparently in the show somewhere. I've not met him yet, but he's in there. There you go.
You'll find him.
Yeah. $18 million to make the pilot. You and I have our like Patreon exclusive pilots club that we do each month. It made me think of like, because we've been trying to do different kinds of pilots, from here's a show that's currently on to here's an anime to here's a show we just never got around to here's one we're interested in. What if we did one that is like, what is the most expensive pilot ever made, or like what's the cheapest that a
yes, please, let's watch the cheapest pilot
that ever actually made it to TV. Right.
Yeah, because I know like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia had like sort of a pitch pilot that they just filmed in their apartment.
That's interesting. I didn't know that. Yeah, like stuff like that. If we could find more, just like, what do you call it? Not I guess it would be a prompt, like a more prompts for like different pilots.
Yeah, different categories. What are those things you get in high school? Superlatives. Sure, most expensive pilot, cheapest pilot, best reviewed pilot. I went Googling pilots to find out what pilot episodes are good. People speak very highly of the
pilots or stuff like that. Yeah.
Pilots, I don't know anything about Emmy Awards.
Right.
Well, we've already seen Lost, which might, I think, still hold the record for the most expensive pilot. So we've already been there.
That one.
I don't know the number off the top of my head, but I feel like I should.
Lost.
If you, another Lost fan, has prompted me to know it, I guess I should learn.
It says it was the most expensive pilot up to that time, costing between 10 and 14 million. So Boardwalk
they won't even
Empire
crash a
has
plane. Steve Buscemi cost that much. More than 14 people?
I mean, the show is very extravagant in its
Okay.
design and like set pieces, like all of that stuff. So like it's no wonder things cost that much, and especially since it's a period piece, right? To get all those cars and decorations and clothes and all of that stuff. But
decorations.
Do you know what I mean? Just like stuff that like on the tables, art on the wall.
I understand, but I'm picturing the like cardboard cutout of a Wolfman face you put in your window for Halloween.
Maybe they
like
had
a puffy pom pom
too.
Right. If it's like Prohibition and Halloween, that's very expensive for us.
I mean, there is an episode that takes place on Halloween.
That's something Lost never had. Lost never had a Halloween episode, and now I'm mad.
Let me see here.
What TV shows need to have Halloween episodes?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I don't know. I've seen a sporadic handful of episodes of The West Wing. I hope somewhere in there, there's trick or treating. Like the White House employees' kids come to the White House. They go to the Oval Office, and Martin Sheen gives them a king size Snickers.
So sorry, my mind is on something else because I just looked up what were the most expensive TV pilots, and what are they? And so it has a list of 10 of them. I don't know if this is a definitive list here, but at number 10, it has come on, I forgot that our thing is not working today, so I have to do everything manually. At number 10 is the pilot for Rome, which cost $9 million. Also,
I've never heard of
HBO
a single person who has seen Rome. I think it only existed as an ad on the back cover of TV Guide.
Maybe.
We'll watch Rome someday. We'll learn.
But then coming
we'll do as the Romans
9
do.
With a $10 million pilot was Fringe.
Hey!
Yeah.
They also crash a plane. If you crash a plane, you're bound to get in there.
Said it was about to premiere, and the president of Fox called it an expensive show. He wasn't kidding. The feature-length pilot cost a whopping $10 million to produce. After the pilot was out of the way, the show scaled back its production. Was each one was about $4 million.
Okay.
There you go. After that, at number 8, they have Game of Thrones. Also at $10 million. $10 million. Coming in at number 7 is The Crown at $13 million.
Okay.
That one's on Netflix. Here we go. Number 6, Lost at $14 million. Number 5, here's a show that I liked. At $16 million is The Get Down on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
That show was it had its issues of why it maybe didn't get a third season. It was very expensive. Baz Luhrmann directed it and stuff like that, but it was very good. Number 4 at $18 million, Boardwalk Empire. Number 3, Terra Nova at $20 million. I've never even heard of that.
I've heard that name, Terra Nova. I don't. Was it on the Sci-Fi Channel? When and where and how was Terra Nova? Who is in Terra Nova?
I don't even know.
Naomi Scott. Okay.
It says, remember Terra Nova, the show about future humans?
We don't. Please help us.
Going back in time to live among the dinosaurs? Of course you don't. The show ran for 13 critically panned episodes before being promptly canceled. But under the guidance of executive producer Steven Spielberg, the ultimately short-lived and quickly forgotten sci-fi series managed to secure a behemoth $20 million budget for its pilot episode.
Wow.
Weird.
We got to watch these. Kyle, I have been wanting to do on the review show like a week of TV shows that were canceled after one season.
Hell yeah. Absolutely. Number 2 was Westworld, 25 million.
Mm-hmm.
And then coming in at number 1 was the HBO drama Vinyl, which cost $30 million.
Also, I believe directed by Martin Scorsese. It also features Griffin Newman, which is why I know what this is.
Yep, another HBO drama spearheaded by the executive producer Martin Scorsese, this time in collaboration with Mick Jagger. Vinyl was even more expensive than Boardwalk Empire. The Scorsese helmed 2-hour pilot alone cost $30 million, while the first season as a whole cost $100 million. Unlike Scorsese's Prohibition era gangster saga, which became one of HBO's flagship shows, his 70s set music industry drama didn't have the ratings to justify a second season renewal. Interesting.
Yeah.
Wild. We'll have to watch the pilot of Vinyl on our
I look forward to it. I'm happy we've managed to tack on research into this Captain's Log episode. This is very efficient.
You learn something new every time here on the Whatnauts. Captain's Log. It's something we don't guarantee here, but I'll say it anyways.
You will learn what the most expensive pilot is. You'll learn about various Mountain Dew flavors.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Which you reminded me of something that we will talk about in the second half of the show. Man, I really enjoy our Pilots Club that we do as our Patreon exclusive thing here. It's fun. Anyways, let me switch this back over to this guy. There we go. But yeah, those are the most expensive pilots. So I guess last but not least, I also am still watching Lost with my friend. We are in season 3, and they just welcomed Juliet into their tribe there. So
what's her favorite character?
She loves Hurley. She loves
we all love Hurley
episode. Yeah. She thinks she's like, he just responds like the most human.
Yes.
Like he's always just like, dude.
Yeah,
like,
Hurley's
that's
us.
All he says. Yeah, right. He has the most like normal reactions to things. So she likes him a lot. Yeah. And then last but not least, I showed her Clerks for the first time. I'm not a huge like Kevin Smith View Askew fan. I like some of his stuff. I do enjoy Clerks, but we're also big fans of that show Letterkenny. And
sure.
I never thought about it until I heard someone mention it on a podcast that they went to go see the Letterkenny creators and stuff like that at some live show, and someone asked them something about Kevin Smith, and they just started gushing and was like, oh my god, we love Kevin Smith, like he's incredible.
That, yeah.
And then it just instantly clicked. I was like, Clerks, that whole show is just Clerks, but but they're Hicks, like that's it. And then I was like, babe, we have to watch this, and we watched it. And like it's almost beat for beat, like Letterkenny is the exact same as Clerks, and it's wild. And it's just like, oh my God, it maps one to one. Like, this is insane.
Wow.
So yeah, that was a revelation. Um, but it makes a lot of sense now here. So that's what I've been up to. That's what I've been watching.
I need to discuss my cinema corner briefly. I already talked about I finally caught up on season 3 of Stranger Things. Had a wonderful time. Look forward to the length of season 4. Last night I watched this new Chippendale movie.
What did you think? I've heard some interesting things.
I had a great time. I talked about how I've had this very long week at work. I'm very tired. I feel very out of it. It's like you need to snap yourself into it, I guess. You know, you got to perk your mood up. You got a life to live. You're going to watch that Chippendale movie, and it fixed me.
I've heard decent things. Like I've heard people saying they really, really enjoy it, that it was a blast, that it was better than it has any right to be. But I've also heard like, hey, this is not the next like you must go out and see this thing, but it's really cool is still what they said.
It's a truly shocking time.
Interesting. The first thing I heard was like, Ugly happen. Sonic is back. And I was like,
Ugly Sonic's in it.
What is this? What is this abomination?
He exists as his own person. He's like, hi, it's me. I'm Ugly Sonic. That's my name. And it made me feel really sad that we were all making fun of Sonic for having Sonic human teeth. Why are we making fun of Ugly Sonic for having human teeth when we have human teeth? Huh? We can't have other kinds of teeth.
God, I like that was the first thing that I saw. I saw a lot of people comparing it to Who Shot or Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And yeah, like I'm interested, but then it also like conversation just moved on real quickly after that, and I haven't heard anyone mention it in like a week.
It's an people didn't tell me it was incredible and nobody's mentioned it in a week. I don't know about the quality of this film.
I mean, hey, sometimes that happens. There's so much content that it just gets washed downstream, right?
We'll check this one out. It's a unique time, and it feels very much like the Lego movie. But the Lego movie had like one very specific sandbox to play in. That sandbox is Legos. This is it's all over the place. It's a multimedia extravaganza.
Interesting. Good stuff. Yeah, I will have to check that one out eventually, because I did hear some good things. So, is that it for your cinema corner here?
That's all the stuff I've had time to watch that isn't review show homework. Yes.
Cool. Well, let's take a quick break for housekeeping, and then we'll be back with the second half of the show. So we will be right back. We put a lot of hard work into the shows that we make, and yes, we make multiple different shows here at the Whatnauts, and we'd love it if you check them all out. You can find out more information on our website at thewhatnauts.com, as well as your favorite podcasting platform of choice. When you type in the Whatnauts, all of our shows will pop up right there. Just don't forget to give us a nice rating and review if you like the shows. If you want to support what we do here at the Whatnauts, patreon.com/thewhatnauts is the best place to do that. You can support us for as little as $1 a month. You can get all kinds of exclusive content at the $3 tier. You can also get a shout out and a thank you on all of our shows at the $5 tier. You can support us on Twitch by subscribing to our channel at twitch.tv/thewhatnauts, and we would love to have you all join us for our live streams and talk with us in the chat. And lastly, we have merch. If you'd like to grab yourself a shirt or a sweatshirt or a mug or something else, go to thewhatnauts.com/store to pick up some merch today. And we are back. A big shout out to all of our Patreon supporters. We appreciate you. We love you a lot. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
It means a ton. cool things that we've been up to here at the Whatnauts. Of course, like I mentioned, we did our reaction to Miss Marvel episode 1. That show is a lot of fun. Go check it out. We will be doing our reactions to that week in and week out. So as that show continues, I guess for the next 5 weeks here, we'll be talking a bit about it on the Reactor Core, and that'll be up on our YouTube page as well. On the review show, let's see, recently we covered things like season 2 of Fringe, of a manga called that time I got reincarnated as a slime. All sorts of good stuff. We're watching Angels in America this week.
This is the wildest dichotomy I think we've had in an episode week to week is that time I got reincarnated as a slime to the HBO Prestige miniseries Angels in America.
It's some interesting whiplash for sure. But yeah, we've covered some interesting things to say the least on the review show. So go check all of that stuff out.
Do you remember those shirts that preteen and teen girls would wear in like the early 2000s that said like 50% angel, 50% devil? Or various combinations. I saw half and half. I saw like 99% devil, 1% angel. I want one of those. It says 50% angel, 50% slime. And that's what the show is. This is a review show merchandise.
We'll have to make that shirt. We'll have to make it. But yeah, so you guys can go check that stuff out. It is also Summer Game Fest that is happening right now. If you are a video game fan, there's all sorts of announcements happening, showcases going on Crossplay, our video game podcast. We will be covering all of that stuff in some mini podcasts instead of one big giant thing. 'Cause there's a lot of stuff. So we're like, what if we just split it in two and do it that way? So be on the lookout for all of that. But yeah, I think that is kind of about it for housekeeping. So I wanted to get into the second half of the show here, and I had some things that I kind of wanted to pull up here, but I need to work on that. In the meantime, Spider-Man is 60 years old.
The Spider-Man, the character?
Spider-Man, the character, yeah.
I said that because I didn't know if there was like a Peter Parker in comics canon who just turned 60. I don't know how old the oldest Peter Parker is.
There have been stories out there of like what happens when Spider-Man gets older, like all that stuff, like what happens when Spider-Man is old man, right?
Right.
There is
Dark Knight Returns, but Spider-Man.
Kind of, yeah. There is that stuff. But it was June 5th, 1962 is when Amazing Fantasy 15 first hit the shelves. So happy 60th to Spider-Man.
Wow. He's almost old enough to get that senior meal at Denny's.
Almost,
which is,
yeah.
Well, I forget how old it's either 55 or 65, but like that's the mark of age to me, is if you can get that back page menu at Denny's.
Yeah. That's fascinating. Like it's interesting because in the comics, like he still doesn't appear a day over 30. Right? Like he's still that. And so, he's aged up, right? From like high school when he first got his powers to like now he's an adult man.
Are we older than the oldest Spider-Man now? Except for outliers, but like the oldest your average Spider-Man gets outside of being like 22. Are we older than that?
I wouldn't say we are older. I say I would think we're at the age.
Oh,
Like I'd say I'd maybe put him at like 32
okay.
is
All
about where
right.
I would put him. Where
So
he's
this
not
year
like
we celebrate our Spider-Man birthdays.
exactly. Happy Spider-Man Day to you, Melissa. So yeah, I as a big Spider-Man fan, I was like, yeah, Spider-Man.
60
Stuff. 60 years old. Just it's interesting to see of like, man, he's like what characters are like just getting started now that like in 60 years time
yeah.
are still gonna be around or like the next big thing.
Yeah, I imagine like we'll see Miles Morales turn 60. You know, we got to remember there's multiple people who carry the title of Spider-Man.
For sure.
It is going to be weird when it's like happy 60th birthday, Spawn.
Well, I'm not even thinking about that stuff. Like happy 60th SpongeBob. Right? Or just just characters in general of like any kind of IP like out there, not necessarily comic book stuff, but yeah, like it will be man, like happy 60th birthday, Spawn. Hope you're still dragging people to hell.
I really hope decades and decades from now we celebrate Diary of a Wimpy Kid. The Wimpy Kid is now a wimpy octogenarian.
Happy 60th, ugly Sonic.
He shall persist. Now that we've met him, we can never forget him. He's always going to be around in some form.
Right? Haunting us. Ugly Sonic and Nucky haunting us. So that's enough about Spider-Man here. So unfortunately, the one time that I want to like actually like do the meme thing, I can't because the program that I have to work all of the stuff is not working. So imagine I hit the button to take us to the Mountain Dew wiki page because that's what we're going to.
Hello, darkness,
right now.
my old friend. I've come to talk with you again. What are we looking up? What's the Mountain Dew news?
Mountain Dew. So a couple weeks ago, you put in our Discord, in our general chat, you were like, I didn't ask for this. And it's a screenshot from Google being like, reminder about Mountain Dew happening today. Mountain Dew Typhoon release date. And I laughed at that. Yeah.
Like I'd never encountered it before, and it was like, hey, you told me to set an alarm.
Yes,
for you
like you told
it
to set it. Like, note to self, don't forget Mountain Dew Typhoon releases on who knows what date, right? And so I thought that was funny. We kind of moved on. But then I got a targeted ad on Twitter this week from Buffalo Wild Wings. And it said, a new Mountain Dew has arrived. And it brought the party with it. Try the new Mountain Dew Legend and the legendary Long Island, only at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Okay, point one. I like that this is the Mountain Dew that brings the party, as opposed to all these square Mountain Dews we've had before.
We've already established there's hard Mountain Dew out there, which implies that there is soft Mountain Dew out there.
That's the party one. What's this one talking about?
Hard Mountain Dew is the Aragorn just sitting in the back of the tavern smoking, right? In his back corner.
Right, here comes Mountain Dew Legend, the Boromir of the
group. And you have my caffeination. So Mountain Dew Legend is a blackberry ginger citrus flavor. Is what this is described as, and it was available as of March 2022. apparently only at Buffalo Wild Wings. Let's see. History. On December 21st, 2021, r/Mountain Dew Reddit. Let's see. In r/Mountain Dew, a Reddit user named Gator123 posted a low-res photograph of Legend's fountain label art from a computer screen, claiming that it planned to release in Q1 2022. And then, yeah.
Wow, we've got exclusive soda fountain sticker leaks.
Yes, exactly. And then the legendary Long Island. On May 18th, 2022, when Legend had officially been released nationwide, a cocktail version called Legendary Long Island was released. It is Legend mixed with vodka, gin, not Jim. I don't know who Jim is.
I thought you were going to say Jim Beam, and I'm like, okay, so like the whiskey is a specific brand. Vodka is just generic. Any label vodka.
It's vodka, gin, rum, tequila, and triple sec, and lemon sour served with a lemon wedge for a bold new twist on a classic cocktail.
I have not had an original Long Island iced tea, so I can't evaluate how that sounds to me. The taste of Legend itself, I always thirst for the taste of Legend, just my everyday life as a virtue. But I love blackberry. I think blackberry and ginger and that like citrus background that's already in Mountain Dew. Like that sounds decent. I would drink that.
Melissa, that's our new tagline. The Whatnauts Captain's Log. What'd you say?
Thirst for the taste of Legend.
Thirst for the taste of Legend. Oh, God.
This is how we need to introduce it. Hey, everybody. Hey, folks. Welcome to the Whatnauts Captain's Log, the podcast where every week we thirst for the taste of Legend.
Yes.
We just need to introduce this very serious, fantastical phrase in the beginning. Like it's just part of the regular spiel. And then we just go on to talk about like hot dogs or Obi-Wan Kenobi or whatever it is we like.
Now we're establishing things. So here, I think I may have figured out a way to do the thing. Where's the gavel hit? Bam! It's been decided. Yeah, that's how every episode of the Captain's Log is starting out from here on out.
Good. I've introduced another concept. Thank goodness.
It has been decided. I love it. Man, that is really funny. But there you go. That is our Mountain Dew wiki moment of the show.
Do you plan to go to a Buffalo Wild Wings and drink the Legend?
I haven't been to one in a while, so kind of. I kind of want to. Yeah. Let's see. Our crew's in the chat saying, does it have the new Baja flavors? Get Mountain Dew notifications, though. Yeah.
Push notifications.
Right. That's exactly what we need. We need, how in movies and stuff you can like I know you can do it. It's an actual thing that you can set up like Google alerts on your phone. That's what we need to do. We need to figure out how to set up Google alerts. Like, can I do it on my computer and have it be an alert on the podcast?
Every time there's Mountain Dew news, you need to set your Alexa to make all the lights turn neon green.
Exactly. Exactly. That's what we need here. I probably could do something like that when I hit the button for our Mountain Dew thing. I could probably do something like that. Huh. Interesting.
You could do the do.
I could do the do for real.
I recommend you go to your local Buffalo Wild Wings. I want to tell you about the last time I went to a Buffalo Wild Wings. This was last summer. It was a very dramatic, stormy night. Like one of those nights where it was storming earlier.
Melissa, you started your story. It was a dark and stormy night. And I went to Buffalo Wild Wings.
Right. But it was one of those magic like breaks in the storm where it rained earlier and you know it's going to rain later. But for right now, it's like sunset and you got these huge, fluffy, moody cumulonimbus clouds and the sunset's lighting everything up like orange and purple. Sure, it's really cinematic. We go to Buffalo Wild Wings and we're like, what's the movie we watch tonight? What is tonight's vibe? And Jack and I decided it was Donnie Darko. And then we go home and I'm like,
watched it.
I think I might have told you about this. Yes, I was trying to get my, like, I just got this smart TV and I'm like, oh, let me try out this voice sensor thing. And I'm clicking the remote and I'm like, Donnie Darko. And we're going into apps and the search function on the app isn't working. So I have to keep yelling at this remote, enunciating, Donnie Darko. And then we ended up watching it on like Pluto TV or something. It was some service that had random ads and they would put the ads at like the most awkward places, the most sudden, abrupt, unnatural cuts into commercials.
That's always the worst. But that was the last time you were at a Buffalo Wild Wings. That's what you were up to.
I wanted to tell you that because I feel like Buffalo Wild Wings was part of the magic that night, and Buffalo Wild Wings could bring this magic to your life.
Indeed, I agree. Yeah, I've not been to a Buffalo Wild Wings in a long time. I don't get wings very often.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Wingstop for the first time when I moved here to Oklahoma. I just don't think I had one anywhere near me in Richmond.
Mm-hmm.
So never really went there. And then I hadn't been. I've not been to Buffalo Wild Wings in years. So
go check it out.
Pretty good. Acquire this new Mountain Dew, and I will thirst for the taste of legend.
The thirst will be quenched.
Indeed. Well, that's kind of about it. I have for stuff for the captain's log right now. I do want to say that I think we're keeping an eye on all of this Netflix Geeked Week stuff. There's a lot of new trailers, a lot of new announcements, as well as stuff that's not Netflix related that is coming out. So we've tossed around the idea of doing a special reactor core covering all that stuff. We might not have time to record it. I don't know if our schedules are kind of opening up for us to be able to do that this weekend. So it might just be what we talk about next week on the Captain's Log there. But keep your eyes peeled to our YouTube channel and our website and on Twitter and all that stuff. We'll keep you up to date with all of that. So exciting stuff is coming out. So there you go. Melissa, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Wilkywit. That's WILKYWIT. And listen to my other podcast, Saturday Morning Obscurities, show where me and my brother Jams talk about weird old kid shows you feel like only you remember.
You can find me at Yo Kyle Springer on Twitter. And if you guys would like to stay up to date with all of the stuff that we do here at the Whatnauts, we are at the Whatnauts on Twitter. So please go like, share, and subscribe. And that is about it for this week, number 192. We will see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.